Hello and thanks for staying with us. Customs management at the airport continue to implement government policies. Also on customs reports, customs react to fake employment details on the internet. Plus more report. I am Igeseme Etienne. Stay tuned.
I know some of you who could be sincere knew very well that that power, what made it to be what it is now, or rather which brought it to useless position, is connivance. I know. And I know those who are sincere here know. So what I will say on this is I tell you that we are not unmindful of some conduct of our officers. And as I'm talking to you now, we sanction many people for different offenses, which was not there before. We have dismissed officers, we have retired officers, we have transferred officers. Even recently, a controller who reported in less than 2-3 months for something that is very glaring, he has been transferred. So with the present leadership, I want to assure you that unless you don't report your matter rightly or correctly, sanction is awaiting any defaulter. Because I said the time was outnumbered. I am tired of seeing officers being punished. The hardest punishment you could, that an agent could be meted with is blockage. At worst, revoking. But an officer may lose his job. We have seen it. It has happened. Time was outnumbered. Yes. I tell you, one of the measures I took on coming here is that I talked to Controller FOU. Please, if we don't have any reason whatsoever to make interception, don't go for it. And let us look back. If you intercept or intercepted a container and you take it to your zone, on getting there, you open it, you find nothing incriminating. What is there for compensation to that agent? Yes. Because I think there is need for you to justify every action, even if it is lies you made. You want to prove it, no, it is the truth. So for you blindly or carelessly or mercilessly, you picked a container for no genuine reason, I think you are not fair to the entire system.
First of all is to keep the right things right. Second thing is to make sure that according to import guidelines, we are strictly on that. And thirdly is that it takes two to tango. For example, many people used to say freight forwarders, custom brokers are all the culprits. But I know that customs must do their own works for us to do our own works, so that government will actually benefit on it. So with due respect, we want to give you some footnotes of what we discussed with the CG, Customs, and again, give you the marshal points of our problems.
The Nigerian Customs Service has said that policies introduced by the government is to further increase revenue and stop smuggling at the airport. The Customs Area Controller in charge of the airport says that any policy introduced by the management will further improve the clearance of consignments at the airport. She urged agents to comply with government policies.
Various seizures, and this has actually been with the cooperation of other agencies. We've been working hand in hand to ensure that anything that we'll have to do with the national security. We prevent anything that is not meant to come into the country from coming in. We've had tramadol, we've had codeine. We all know that our youths these days are high on codeine, and we are all mothers. In any way we can prevent this from coming into the country, we have to do that. So we've been having lots of seizures of codeine, tramadol, and all the rest of it. And this has been handed over to the relevant agency, which is NAFDAC. The DG of NAFDAC visited here, and some codeines and tramadol was handed over to her 2 weeks ago. The issue of Form M, we have import procedure in Nigeria, and I'm sure other countries as well. Other customs administration also have their import procedures. In Nigeria, for anyone intending to import goods into Nigeria, you must first of all open an E-Form M with an authorized bank. It's a policy of the government. We have to adhere to it. It's one of the documents needed for clearance procedures. The stakeholders are aware of this. They're aware of the list of documents they need for their import to be able to clear their consignment. Certain documents will have to be attached, and Form M is one of them. The other time, before the implementation of the NICES, the ACG ICT came to the airport, had meetings with the stakeholders to inform them about NICES, and also that they were going to be trained, because you have to train them to be able to operate the system with the NICES too. And even our officers, the custom officers, were to be trained. I think that training took effect on the 14th of May. The agents were trained in Apapa, while our officers were trained at the zonal office. And after the training, they were told NICES was going to take, the implementation was going to take place in this command. And that took effect from the 28th of May.
According to her, the measure will further help government to generate more revenue.
With NICES, of course, the revenue is definitely going to go more than what we've been doing before. We are expecting increased revenue with the NICES too. Like you said, we had it in Apapa. The first 2 weeks when it took effect in Tinkan, of course you know what the revenue was. We had increase in revenue. And I was seriously looking forward to NICES being implemented in this command. And I'm happy that it's finally been implemented. With the initial rejection, the first few weeks wasn't that rosy, but they're coming to terms with it. And I believe this month things will be stable. We've been trying our best as far as revenue is concerned. My officers are doing their best, because I've told them you should mind the fact that you're posted here for a purpose. We have all other officers elsewhere, but we are posted here, and for whatever reason we're posted here, we must work and make sure that that reason we were posted here, we achieve whatever we're posted here to do, which is revenue generation, facilitation of trade, taking care of our security, manning our borders, manning the airports to ensure that uncustoms goods do not come into the country. So we've been trying our best as far as revenue is concerned, and we'll continue to do our best.
A Deputy Controller of Customs, also at the airport, also speaks on the policy as laid down by government.
NICES 2 is a welcome idea. It's a good thing that has happened to customs so far. It has come to ease ways of doing business. NICES 2, just like any other policy, has its own challenges. But we have seen it worked in other commands, and we believe it will also work here. We have started it. We have faced some little challenges, but we have overcome them, and we are on the right path. It's natural when there's change. People are not they don't want change, you know. On issues of compliance, you find that some of them are ready to comply, some of them are not ready to comply. But the The truth of the matter is that when this thing started, we have notified them of the coming of the NISIS 2, which they were aware. We have also asked them to come for training. Some of them went, some of them did not even attend. But we believe that with time, we'll be giving them free lectures, we'll be enlightening them on NISIS 2, and we believe they will all comply. It's only those that don't really know anything about NISIS 2. It's either they refuse to go for the lectures or they refuse intentionally to learn on the new system. But we are still trying our best. We are putting them in the proper perspective, and we are also enlightening them. It has so far blocked a lot of loopholes that has been existing with the NISIS 1. You know, the requirements and the procedure of NISIS 2 is simple and friendly, but it checks and blocks all loopholes that are there. And then quite all right, you know, people will not want to use NISIS 2. But it's the best that has happened. It has boosted our revenue so far, and we'll continue using it. And we believe at the end of the day, there will be compliance.
In another development, freight forwarders operating at the nation's airport has continued to commend the management of Nigerian Customs Service for a job well done. So the freight forwarders said that Nigerian Customs Service should continue to implement laws that will help the common masses to operate in the country.
We do not have any problem with any custom officer or custom officers with regard to from M. But what we are saying is that airport, by and large, is always a pass-through post where shipments always come as quick as possible. For example, if you place an order like in London, within 6 hours, those things will be here. So subjecting all goods at the airport with from M and PAR as prescribed by this new custom NISIS 2 is what we're appealing, that it should be scrapped because of the urgency of air cargo, taking peculiarity of air shipments.
Are agents comfortable with NISIS 2?
Well, nobody is saying NISIS 2 is not it's not welcome. We are not saying it's not welcome. But what we discover in NISIS 2 is that with the advent of NISIS 2, we discovered that air shipment was not really captured into it. Based on what my analysis have given, considering the fastness, and more importantly, air shipments, more than 80% are formerly informal trades. These women that patronize China, Dubai, that will pick things from different shops, pick things from open markets, where this woman will buy like 10 kilograms, another 5 kilograms from another shop, another woman will do like 5 kilograms from different shops. And these people will just consolidate this cargo to come. And this will take less than 2 or 3 days for them to go there and shop and come back to Nigeria. So NISIS 2 does not capture this. So that is why it looks like there is a little misunderstanding. But I think we are getting in tandem with this. We're trying to resolve the issue here.
What is the relationship between the agents and customs?
Very cordial. It's cordial. Absolutely cordial. We do not have any problem with customs. The policies of government can come, of which customs are there to implement it, which may be misunderstood or may be challenging to operationals. And at the moment, we as agents have noticed some challenges in some of those policies. We make our reservations known to the management, of which they are taking care of some of the reservations we have made.
The Nigerian Customs Service has kicked against fake employment by Nigerian Customs Service. The Customs Regulations Officer said that Customs has not started employing anybody yet. He said that anyone caught posting fake details on the internet will be arrested and be made to face the law. He speaks more on other issues.
The issue of bad guys in the internet fraudsters, feasting on the ignorance and sometimes on the desperation and greed of some Nigerians to extort their money in the name of offering job placement in customs, auction or contract has been there. And we've been doing quite a lot, including recording convictions for some arrested fraudsters. But the true story is that the Nigerian Customs Service is not currently recruiting. And as usual, anytime we are set and we have the go-ahead to do the recruitment, advertisements will be placed in national dailies, in our program, Customs Duty on NTA, and of course, I know our friend, the AIT, we also carry it in this particular program called Customs Report. It will be on our online platforms. For instance, we have the Facebook authentic and authoritative account, which is www.facebook.com/customsng. This is a verified account linked to our website and Twitter. So there would not be issue of secrecy or whatever surrounding our recruitment when we are ready.
Yes, NISIS 2 just started recently at Apapa, Tinkan, and apparently at the airport recently. What is the response so far from the stakeholders? Some are not comfortable.
It's all about change management. When you introduce a new thing, you do not expect that 100% we just key into it. There are people who are beneficiaries of the former system. There are people who probably have been taking advantage of some of the loopholes associated with NISIS 1. Now, if NISIS 2 that has just been introduced blocks this loophole and such person no longer benefits, of course you expect that there will be some form of resistance. But generally, the response has been very encouraging. And it is reflecting positively on the amount of revenue the Nigerian Customs Service is raking into national purse. NISIS 2 helps to get more revenue, secures the country better, and provides a platform for compliant traders. Those who are complaining are those who still think that there could be one way or the other that they can manipulate. But they are getting fewer and fewer by the day. We just have to be fair to ourselves. I wouldn't want to say that freight forwarders have said this or that, because it's as a result of these media reports blaming customs last week that the public relations team from the headquarters came into Lagos this week, and we went to PTML unannounced. We found out their examination time. They say it's 10 o'clock. And we went there with our camera rolling. And we discovered that by 10 o'clock, when we were there, only customs and 2 clearing agents were on ground. Up until about 10 or 5 minutes to 12, then we saw one NDLA guy coming in. And of course, he admitted that he came late, but because he went somewhere for another assignment. When we interviewed the clearing agents and this NDLA official, they all said the same thing, that in most cases, the terminal operators don't position these containers in time. And when they come early, they wait. And because they have better things to do with their time somewhere else, maybe they branch to do one thing or the other to come in. We left PTML, we went to Tinkan, we went to B1, the busiest terminal in Tinkan. The story was the same thing. From NAFDAC to NDLA to SON to clearing agents, they were all blaming the terminal operator for not, one, positioning the containers in time and all that. But when we talked to the representative of the terminal operator in B1, he was blaming the clearing agents that they don't come early. Sometimes they don't even do proper documentation before they book for positioning. So it's like they do the first thing last. So they were just trading blame. And there was one pointed question I asked at each spot that we went. Have there been any situation where container was positioned, all of you were on ground, but you could not conduct examination because customs were not there? The answer was a unanimous no.
You are watching the program Customs Report. The Customs Area Controller in charge of semi-border has again impounded bag of rice that runs into millions of naira. The Customs Area Controller said that his men also impounded the means of conveyance of the consignment. He warned smugglers against illegal importation of contraband into the country. According to him, anyone caught would face the law.
This rice issue now is something very serious. They are no more using road now. They are using creek. Very few are coming through the roadside. That is with these small vehicles. Last month, as you said, or you heard, or you have seen, soldiers came and evacuated 17,000 bags of rice to IDP Yobe. Then from that day to date, we were able to arrest another 10,000 bags. Some are through the creek. That place my boys entered last week, we entered there with 30 soldiers. We were able to evacuate over 1,000 plus. Then the ones that are crossing the road, hiding here and there, within a month, I can proudly say that we have 10,000 back on the ground. Wherever you have international border, that is the approved border, then you have illegal route. Then is this a crime for me to block the illegal route? When I came here, I discovered that place is a nuisance place. And what's part of it? This place is at the back of my house. What an insult is that? The ECOWAS Chamber of Commerce came to visit me. Highly, very big delegation. I took them to that place. We stayed there. In less than 5 minutes, I can proudly tell you that over 1,000 motorcycles packed with human beings, carrying two people, one people, carrying bags. Who knows what is there? Even if you have 1,000 officers to man that place, they cannot check everything. So I said, I'm going to block that place. They said I should hold on. It is diplomatic, whatever they call it, I don't know. I waited for a very long time. I don't want to disturb my siege because I feel that if you put me as a controller, let me control the place so that I'll report to him. Then whatever I want to do, I'll look at the law. If I'm not against the law, I'll make sure that I'll do it, however difficult it is. Then if the law says this is approved route, then somebody decides to open an unapproved route, a big insult close to the controller house, then it is not a crime for me to block it. So I have blocked it. Some said I have tried my best. Some said I have blocked them for eating. So there's no name that they don't call me about the blockade of that place. I'm happy to do it. And I'm sure it saved a lot. And what even triggered me to do it is that, if you could remember about 3 or 4 weeks ago, around Idio Roko side, Uganda, they arrested ammunition about 300,000. Then this to show that what Oga said, that we should be at alert, that they are no more using port. They may likely use land border. So if they made that arrest around that area, then I said to myself, if I allowed myself or I allowed anything to happen like that in this Badagry border, how will I face my siege? Then I start suspecting that illegal road. I block it. And I discover another one on the other side of the road. The community even use their money, approximately 20 million to construct that place. From Benin, you come to Nigeria straight. Immediately I discover it, I call the attention of the CO, which supplies soldiers. If you go there now, you see soldiers 24 hours, we block that place. So the two places have been blocked. If you know you are doing your legal business, pass through the main border.
I think they are doing a good job. But those people that passed there before, they think because they can use it to do any other things, they will be angry. but it's good. If you want to pass, you will pass the normal channel.
Not say before some people they pass for that place anyhow like this. Now I consider this is no good. That's why I come closer. That is good for me very, very well.
It's a welcome development. I think it will cope, if not cope entirely, it will minimize the smuggling activities around here.
The customs area controller also warned importers against smuggling items into the country. He urged them to follow due process. Just before round of this week edition of the program, Customs Report, we brought you a report where goods worth millions of naira was intercepted by Customs Area Command at Semi Border. For me, Igeseme Edie, thanks for watching.